What's up, YouTube? It's your boy CJ in the cut here. I'm back with another video. I had to take a little break due to minor allergies. It's the beginning of March now. We're in the middle of the session, and bro, my allergies were just reacting like, bro, just sneezing, coughing, and that did not look good for the video. But anyway, while I was out over the past week, it's just nothing but this clip right here has been gone viral between Stephen A. Smith and LeBron James on the fact that LeBron James pressed Stephen A. Smith in a very, 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 very unwanted situation. And the reason why that, obviously because Stephen A. Smith has been talking about Bronny James, that me personally, I really just don't believe that he has said anything offensive. He did not offend Bronny. He's not downplaying him. Didn't offend LeBron James and what's the matter. Like, he didn't say anything surprising compared to what all the other, TV analysts and all the other sports media people have said. So I was kind of shocked on the fact that that happened. If you look on First Take the next morning when he clipped it, like, you could really look at his face and it was like, dude, like, fuck this shit at the moment, bro. Like, he's not trying to deal with that. But now he went on Gilbert Arenas' podcast to really talk about the situation, and it's uncensored too, which, it makes it good and everything like that. But now this is his following video about that whole Bronny situation going on and everything like that. So let's just check it out. I'm going to pause the video from time to time to really give out my honest opinion about that whole LeBron James and Bronny situation, man. So this is my first time watching the video, so let me see what he's talking about.
Let's get started in the NBA, where the top two teams in the East and the West are solidified. But which finals matchup should fans want to see? I'll get into all of that a little bit later. After starting off with where I really want to start up, which is with a follow-up of what happened last Thursday night in Los Angeles when LeBron James confronted me about his son, Bronny. I spoke about it last Friday on First Take and right here on this podcast as well. And obviously that made a lot of news because he approached me, surprisingly, and what have you, and it took off from there.
And what I like about Stephen A. don't back down from nobody, dude. That's what I fuck with him. Like you're the second greatest player of all time. You've done a lot for this league and everything like that, but dude, like, he doesn't need to bow down on your knees or nothing like that. He doesn't give a fuck.
Just to remind everybody of what transpired, I was sitting courtside. I was a guest of Ari Emanuel for William Morris Endeavor, the agency that represents me. One of the agencies that represents me, of course, and he was with Larry David, the actor and producer from Curb Your Enthusiasm. We were all sitting together. I was standing up. It was the third quarter. Out of a timeout, LeBron James rolled over on me and basically started speaking to me, getting in my face about, stop effing with my son. That's my effing son. Stop effing with my son. And that was about the size of it. He didn't give me much of a chance to speak, to respond. You heard me last week allude to this on several occasions, where I said that wasn't a basketball player approaching me, that was a father. Right. That was a father protecting his son. And that I understood it. It's a few days later, my position has not changed in that regard. I do understand that. I truly, truly do. But what I said at that particular moment in time, which was this past Friday, was that had I had an opportunity to speak to LeBron, if the environment was conducive to that, not in the middle of a game, standing on the sideline, where my only recourse would be to make a scene by retaliating while a national audience was watching on TNT, sitting courtside just a few feet away from the Lakers bench. I was not going to do that, ladies and gentlemen. Forget the fact Or should it? Wait, maybe we should or should have forget the fact. That's up to you. But it was on the day where I was all over the news because news had percolated that I had reached a new contract extension with ESPN. It was that day. But that's neither here nor there.
And to think that you went through this whole period of time to go through a whole new contract extension, you got more money, you flew to LA, you witnessed your team versus the Lakers. LeBron James comes and press you over something that could have been handled in a whole different situation. Now, honestly, the one thing that I can say about LeBron, about most players, is that I applaud him for holding this type of professionalism for the amount of years. Like, no drama, no bullshit. We do see little tweaks from Bron on time to time. That's just because of social media and everything like that. But, you know, it erases in 2 seconds. Now, the one thing I honestly gotta say is that if anything is either not positive or not met in the middle when it comes to LeBron James, why is it always being forced to, on the looks of being canceled or you being dehumanized and all this other type of shit, man? Like, from what I saw last week, what went down with Stephen A., I really felt bad for him because a lot of people were coming to him on the fact that he's only talking about Bronny's game. And the media or the LeBron lovers and all this other bullshit just attacked him saying that LeBron's a bad father. That's such bullshit, man.
When that stuff happened, what I was going to say to LeBron James, which would have clearly made the situation worse, is what I said on national television Friday morning when I spoke about it on First Take on ESPN, and in the aftermath right here on the Stephen A. Smith Show over the digital airwaves of YouTube and, of course, iHeartRadio. I said that when I brought up Bronny James and I was speaking about him, the incident that it clearly infuriated LeBron James so much, I wasn't talking about Bronny James. I was talking about you, LeBron James. And what threw me off was that LeBron James kept saying, "Stop shitting on my son. That's my effing son. That's my effing son. Stop shitting on my son." And that bothered me all weekend long because I was trying to figure out, when was I shitting on his son? And that's why I decided to come back and revisit this today. Because something happened over the weekend that seemed fairly innocuous to you all, but not to me. And I want you to see this clip right here and to see what they're saying. This is LeBron James talking to my ESPN and ABC colleague, Richard Jefferson, his former teammate. They won a championship together in Cleveland. Richard Jefferson now works for ESPN and ABC calling games, and LeBron was speaking to him prior to the game against Boston, in Boston, on Saturday night. And I would like you all to take a look at this and to see what they're saying LeBron said to Richard Jefferson. Take a look. So y'all saw that. So he was saying that what set him off is me saying, "I'm pleading with you as a father." Ladies and gentlemen, he's alluding to what I said on January 29th. So he was in the games, and LeBron was speaking
I'm just
to
looking
that
at something.
saying,
Hold on. See, in this situation right here, right? When you're an all-star player where the cameras is always on you, bro, isn't it like the smart thing to do is that should you cover your mouth like this so nobody could read your lip movement and all this other type of stuff? Because, dude, social media is now at its highest peak, bro. So You could honestly get exposed for any single thing in what you do.
So y'all saw that.
But the one thing that I do respect Stephen A. Smith on is that he does keep his receipts for sure. You may disagree with him on some things, you may agree with him on a lot of things, or not a lot of things. I don't know. But the one thing I assure you is that he has evidence to back it up. If you have the facts, show the facts. If you have the statistics, show the statistics. If you're just saying it out your ass, shut the fuck up.
So he was saying that what set him off is me saying, I'm pleading with you as a father. Ladies and gentlemen, he's alluding to what I said on January 29th. First on First Take, but now on here, on this show, the Stephen A. Smith Show, the same day, I addressed the topics on both platforms. Here's what I said on the Stephen A. Smith Show. Play this, please. With LeBron, the best of intentions. Wonderful father by all accounts. I'm not casting any aspersions on him. I'm saying, that's your son, bro. You know the game of basketball. He ain't ready yet.
So this is the one where he made the video about LeBron where Bronny was getting cooked by Tyrese Maxey, basically. If it wasn't Bronny James, y'all would say that he's getting cooked. He's getting cooked.
Why put him in that position?
And it's okay.
You had your moment.
It's okay. Everyone gets cooked. Everyone's now
that kid's got to go earn his stripes.
LeBron got cooked.
Which I believe
Jordan
he will do.
Cooked. Tim Duncan
Watching
got
him
cooked.
In the G League.
KD got cooked. Steph got cooked. It's
you can't
okay.
do this. You can't continue to let us see what we've been seeing. And I'm wrong. I'm questioning him as a father because I'm saying, yo, wrap your arms around him and say not now, not just yet. That's questioning somebody's fatherhood. There you have it. That's what LeBron James was talking about. And on First Take that morning, I was saying, I'm pleading with LeBron James. Stop it. Stop this. Yet the LeBron James that approached me said I was shitting on his son. I'm perplexed at the moment because I don't believe I've ever done that. Had he said, you shitting on me and you talking about me as a father, I would have known exactly what he was talking about. And maybe it's best in the moment that I didn't recall that. I couldn't decipher what he was saying. Because I might have said what I was tempted to say. I was talking about you. We sit here more than a month later. I stand by what I said.
Facts.
Just like
Facts. And I'm in like another video or something like that, I'm gonna tell you guys a little story that something that I could relate to on the story. It's about certain situations where parents comfort too much on their kids and they make you look like the bad guy by small little strict criticism. But that's another story. My thing about this on this situation is that Stephen A's point on what I'm seeing right now is that it literally shows anybody in any type of sports media, it is honestly a worse dream come true alive if you're friends with any type of professional athletes. Because now in today's generation, negativity sells. So you won't get your views, you won't get your ratings, you won't even make money if all you do is talk good about whatever athlete that you're covering. NFL, NBA, the baseball league, hockey league, whatever league it is. Your ratings go up, you make more money, you get more views when you only talk shit about the players. And this is kind of the reason why I'm now seeing the point of view on the reason why Skip Bayless was so relevant for only shitting on LeBron, knowing the fact that he was this good and still playing, but he still chose to shit on him for that many amount of years. And that's the reason why Skip Bayless is still one of the top sports media, national TV people in today's sports journalism. Stephen A is on top of there as well. But the reason why he is more relevant now these days is because a lot of sports players come back to him to give him shit, and he shares all of these stories. He shared it. He shared the one with AI. He shared his shit what he had going on with Draymond Green. He had a situation going on with Shaq. He had a situation going on with Glenn Robinson III. I remember that one. And now this one. Negativity really sells now these days, ladies and gentlemen. And you won't remain relevant, or you wouldn't be consistent or in people's heads if you only keep positivity and talk good about these players. If Jordan had to play in this type of era, I really do not believe that he would be in the GOAT conversation if this is how the media would portray him. Yes, a lot of I'm pretty sure, even though this wasn't my era or nothing like that, I'm pretty sure Jordan got shit while on the come up, but that media wasn't like today's media on how it is, for sure, 100%.
I said on television Friday. Why do I stand on what I said? Why do I stand by what I said? Because it's important that all of you know the back history as it pertains to me. Now we're going to get a little deep. When Bronny James was in high school, I never went to see him play on purpose. I hinted at potentially going over to Sierra Canyon and watching him play, but I never went. And when I spoke about it on the air, I said, the kid, from what I'm being told, has potential. But we all know how great his father is. And we all know what a figure his father is, not just as a player, but in some people's eyes as an activist, and in some people's eyes, in a variety of other ways that can serve to not just galvanize, but polarize certain communities in this country. Folks are looking for an excuse. If I walk into an arena because I'm Stephen A., and to watch a basketball player that is the son of LeBron James, I know that from the moment I depart from there, everyone wants a critique about his game, and I did not want to do that. So I never went and watched him play in high school out of respect and deference to the James family. He goes to college. He suffers the heart ailment. I mean, my God, it scared the living hell out of us when we all heard the news that for a couple of seconds, he wasn't responsive. You're like, oh my God, we hope he's okay. And I said, to recover from that, you can't judge him on what you see his first year in college because he's not 100% healthy. That's not fair to him because he's LeBron James' son and you're inviting additional scrutiny. So I never went to USC. I'm out here in LA all the time. I'm here now. I've had opportunities to go to USC to watch Bronny James play, but I didn't think it would be fair to him and to LeBron James. So I never went. Then he's entering the draft instead of staying in school. And when he decided to enter the draft, and you had people speculating about what he wasn't, it was a colleague of mine by the name of Kendrick Perkins who went on national television as a former All-American with LeBron James in the 2003 All-American class, if I remember correctly, who said In front of the cameras, on the record, we've never seen a 14-year-old be named a McDonald's All-American, bringing into question the legitimacy of Bronny James being an All-American. I didn't touch it.
Bronny was only 14? Damn.
He gets drafted. But even while he got drafted, we were told Golden State might have been interested, Phoenix might have been interested, the Clippers were interested, Boston might have been interested, but were dissuaded from grabbing him because LeBron James and Rich Paul and Clutch Sports and those guys have made it very, very clear he's going to be a Laker. And they honored those wishes.
My thing about this, I'm trying to see where I could come off about this. I don't want to sound too harsh and everything like that. Look, yes, Bronny is his own man. He's his own person. He could do whatever the hell he wants. He's an adult now. He wants to be in the NBA. Whatever team he could have got drafted to, he would have represented that team well. But at the end of the day, dude, nepotism was going to follow him regardless. Whether or not, if he stayed at USC, he played 2 to 3 years there, whatever the amount of time he wanted to play there. If he did good, if he did bad, whatever it was, nepotism was going to follow him no matter what. Only because the last name is James. Today's draft class, I don't know one person in that draft. Actually, I lied. I don't know more than 4 players in that draft. I don't know the number 1 pick. I can't remember the number 2 pick. I just know the teams that they play on. When this league entered the summer league, we saw the difference with somebody recording the number 1 pick versus the number 2 pick. The stands were empty. Few people were there. Doubt anybody bought their jerseys. Because nobody gives a shit. Their names are not popping. But once we saw Bronny James playing his first game, playing the next game, playing his last game in the summer league, in the summer league, the whole stands was popping, bro. Only because it's LeBron James' son. And me personally, Bryce is gonna be dealing with the same shit too when he jumps in the G League. Obviously, he's gonna be hopefully, it's gonna be in a different situation as Bronny. But we're talking about the nepotism in general. He is going to get drafted because this is LeBron James's kids. It doesn't matter if they do good or if they do bad. They play good. They play like shit. If they drop 30, they could drop 2 points. They're going to make the league because of that last name. And my thing about it is that this is LeBron James, got drafted in 2003 and played and still playing till today's game. 4 league MVP, been to 10 back-to-back NBA finals. Nothing but straight professionalism out there. And he is still the face of the league. And he's still playing his ass off at the age of 40. My thing about this, if you have anything good to say about this, if you have anything bad to say about this, I need everyone to just shut the fuck up. This is LeBron James. This is LeBron James. If he wants to get his kids in the fucking league, god damn it, let him do it. It don't matter. It really does not matter. Shit, back in the day, if this was Michael Jordan, if Michael Jordan did this shit, all right. Let me open the door. Hey, come in, Marcus. Come in. The door's open. Come in, Marcus. Like, what the fuck are we talking about here, bro? Like, we really shouldn't be shitting on LeBron for doing this if LeBron has done nothing good for this league. And he's not even my favorite player. Like, I loved him when he came down here in Miami. My favorite player is Tim Duncan of all time. It's Tim Duncan. But I have no problem with LeBron doing this. I really don't.
We didn't say anything about that. Opening night, father and son, Ken Griffey Jr., Ken Griffey Sr. in attendance.
This was the most viewed game.
Us who cover the league knows that people were going to question the merit, which means that the league would be reluctant to embrace this, that the Lakers, the most storied franchise in basketball annals outside of the Boston Celtics, would be reluctant to embrace it, but everybody did. And so did the media. So did I. I was in attendance, I was standing up, and I was clapping just like everybody else when he entered the game.
Damn, this is FaZe Clan right here. That's FaZe. You know, the one thing that would have been cool on that night, if Bronny had a chance to throw the alley-oop to LeBron, that shit would have been so dope to witness. It really would. And I'm very appreciative to live in the era where LeBron is coming up. And I believe he still is, because on the fact that he's playing so well. He's injured right now, but on the fact that he's able to play so well at that age.
And then ultimately the game.
He was supposed to retire about like 2 years ago.
And all I said was, he's doing great in the G League, but on this level, he's not ready yet for a variety of reasons.
That's fine.
Don't do this. Why did I say, as a father, if it were a Kenyon Martin and his son, I wouldn't have said that. If it were a Carmelo Anthony and his son, I would not have said that. If it was a Glenn Big Dog Robinson and his son, I would not have said that. If it was Rick Barry and one of his sons, I would not have said that. I would not have said that about any of those folks, because none of those folks had made headlines promoting their child to be in the NBA as a player or a star in the league. This son just came in here. Tim Hardaway, let me not forget him. Senior and junior. That didn't happen. Those dudes played and performed and positioned themselves to be in that situation. That wasn't the case here. So for those, including LeBron, that were caught up in me saying, as a father, I'm saying, as a father, you said, I want to play with my son in the NBA. You said, I don't care if you want me draft Bronny. At this point, it's not about the money. I don't care where it is. I'll play there. I just want to have a year with my son. It was you that said, despite high school, despite the heart ailment, he's better than some of the players in the league.
That part, I believe, where he did cross the line. That's the only thing that I believe where he crossed the line. I have no issue with him saying that he wants to play with the son. I have no issue with him saying no matter what team he gets drafted to, he would play there. It's LeBron James. Wherever the hell he goes, that's where LeBron is going to go. But the fact where he had that, hard falling and went into the whole cardiac arrest, that's the only thing where I believe that he slipped up. Yes, he is marketing Bronny, but then again, he doesn't need the marketing because it's LeBron. If any other dad would have did that, we wouldn't care that much. We really wouldn't. If Carmelo was doing this with Cayenne, nobody would be looking at Carmelo crazy. If Gilbert Arenas was doing this with Elijah, we wouldn't be looking at Gilbert crazy. LeVar Ball did it. He did it with all three. I would honestly say two, because with Jello and the whole, it's a reason. Me personally, I believe it's the shit what he did in China. That's the reason why it's hard for him to stay in the NBA. But he's going on with his rap career now. But yeah, that's the only part that stopped LeBron and everything like that. But it's because all the eyes are on LeBron, and nobody else. Definitely this year, the year after that, and maybe his last year. Those eyes, those cameras, social media are only focused on LeBron. And they're looking to downplay him right now because on the fact that this is going on. And honestly, he's winning. It's not like he's going to lose. He hasn't lost in the past 20, 21 years, 22 seasons. Like, just now, society is just really looking forward to look for something to diminish LeBron James, but you can't. You can't touch him. He's untouchable.
So when I was saying, as a dad, don't do it, I wasn't just talking about Bronny, the player. I was talking about the dad saying the things that he was saying that was only adding pressure to the son. That's what I was doing. So I've never, ever, ever been about being critical of Bronny. I've gone out of my way, being who I am in the position that I am in, to avoid even critiquing him for years.
Nah, he did the right
out of
thing.
Respect for the James family.
He did the right thing because I'm telling you,
Rich Paul knows that. Adam Middleton knows that. Maverick Carter knows that. Opposing agents and players, former and present, who would ask me why I wouldn't do it, know my position. It was on the record.
Stephen A. Smith is definitely smart for not saying that at all. I know I'm pausing the video for a little minute, but he's definitely right for not saying anything about those previous situations for sure, because due to the fact that we live such in a Disney Channel society, I really do not believe that Stephen A. would have got that $100 million contract. I really do not believe that he would be looked at as a good influence to the ones that understand him, like myself. Like I completely understand where he comes from. I don't see what he did anything wrong in this situation here or any previous situation before. You know, this is just a guy that's doing his job. And I'm not going to lie, this shit is hard, bro. Because you are really fucking up a lot of connections here by doing your job. But then again, you have to do it. If I was a professional athlete, I don't really know on which media person I would be looking in their way, knowing the fact that it's strictly business and not relationships or not connections and all this other type of stuff, man. But, you know, Stephen A. is really trying to put himself more in front of his job to begin with. He really is. I see it.
There's clips of it on First Take.
Because he knows for the fact
that was my position.
That he's trying to call out the fact that Bronny is not
so
ready.
So when he said to me, stop shitting on my son, I'm like, what?
Bronny.
What are you talking about?
He says that he's blaming LeBron.
But then something happened. Something happened. And a light bulb hit my ear. And that was him with Richard Jefferson. LeBron James with Richard Jefferson. You saw the video. So when he sat up there and said, when I'm talking as a dad, right? That's the only thing. That's the only thing I'm tripping. I don't give a F. Once he talks about you I plead as a father, I can't. So it wasn't about Bronny. It was about him. Those are his words. Once he said, as a father, that was about him. Which was my point January 29th. It's been about you. I don't want to have a critical word about Bronny James at this stage of his career. And I completely agree with LeBron's agent and the head of Clutch Sports, Rich Paul. We don't always agree. As a matter of fact, most of the time we don't agree at all, but we talk, and I respect the hell out of him. And he made very valid points, and I want to emphasize, Rich is just class.
God damn. Look how, bro, Rich Paul looks like one of LeBron's kids. Look how small Rich Paul is. Damn. Damn, bro. And, bro, I'm not going to lie. I'm 6'4". And looking at that picture, dude, Rich Paul definitely is under 5, is definitely under 6 feet for sure. Because I stood next to 6'8" people.
He's decent at his core, and
footers,
he's gonna call you and talk to you man to man. He would have never did what LeBron James did Thursday night.
I got homeboy 6'8",
he never would have done that. But that's neither here nor there. But Rich Paul made a point that Bronny should be contextualized and presented better. I agree with him on that. There's plenty of dudes in the NBA and who have been in the NBA over the years that have been drafted in the second round who struggle initially before getting their bearings under them and ultimately elevating their level of play. He is absolutely right.
That's normal.
The reason why it's different for Bronny as opposed to others is because he's LeBron James' son.
Yes.
The NIL deals, the 4-year, $8 million contract. All of these other things that come with it that doesn't happen for the average 55th pick overall in the second round of an NBA draft. The fact of the matter is that there's plenty of dudes that have come in the second round, and it takes them a couple of years, in some cases longer, to get their bearings under them. He is absolutely right.
With that second round situation, the fact that he went to second round, 55th pick to the Los Angeles Lakers, the media is pushing him and giving him this horrible narrative, like if he went first round and he's a top 3 pick. That's what's really going on. But it's only because this is LeBron James's kid. Now, if he wasn't LeBron James's dad, nobody would give a shit. It would just been a horrible narrative on the fact of today's headline, worst NBA draft? Question mark. Because honestly, it is. When I become a parent, right? Because obviously we all had that intent to make it to the pros. But I play semi-pro overseas on a yearly basis. So I have this type of mindset and I have the experience on what I could do to train the youth. When I have a son of my own, I am going to train my son to become the best, better than me in that perspective. Play middle school, play high school, get to college. If I could get him to that level into a top 50, a top 10 caliber, there's no way that we're doing one and dones. No way. That's not happening for sure. Second year, there's a possibility. I'm gonna do research, and I'm gonna have my son with me for sure to let him know the people that are in that draft class, the amount of guards, the amount of bigs, who's on the fantasy, the mock draft, who's top 10, what are the selected teams that are looking at these type of guards, how are they ranked, how are they played, are they good defensively, are they better shooters, are they more athletic? We don't know, but research would definitely be done. And if my son is on that same caliber with the other 40 to 50 players, there's most likely he would not be entering that draft, knowing the fact that he wouldn't be getting that opportunity because there's a hell of a lot of players playing like him. But I will promise you, he will become different than everybody else for sure. That's the way on how I'm going to train my kids.
But having said all of that,
superhumans.
That again buffers my point. It was never about Bronny. I wouldn't do that to a kid. It was about his dad. And it wasn't about his dad even wanting him in the NBA. It's the things he said. and the things he maneuvered and manipulated in order to get his son to wear the same uniform as him, which brought that attention. And the reason why I'm bringing that up is because I want to get into a conversation about me because of how some folks have been attacking me. Not over this, but using this as an excuse to accuse me of hating on the brothers. I'm sick of that shit. I'm not backing up from that anymore. I'm not taking it from people anymore. I'm not just a black man. I'm a brother. I'm not going to take this shit from people anymore. I'm going on Gilbert Arenas' podcast tomorrow. Gil's Arena.
Oh, that was before he went to Gil's podcast. Ah, okay. I got you. Oh, I thought he dropped this after Gilbert Arenas' podcast, man. But I'm not gonna lie, bro. I got addicted watching Gil's Arena, man. Cause bro, Gilbert Arenas speaks facts. The one thing I could honestly say, and this is a very biased opinion, the most underrated all-stars or superstars or the most underrated players, the bench players, they will give you more shit and more knowledge for you to know as experience more than the superstars themselves, because I believe that they're just in a very privileged position and they will have the mindsets that they're not replaceable. They're not on that 10-day or 2-day contract and all this other bullshit. Let's say hypothetically, because I just met this NBA player. If you're looking back at the 12-13 roster of the Miami Heat when LeBron came down here, if I had an opportunity to talk to one basketball player to give me the knowledge if I was still in training to become an NBA player, I'm going to take advice from Udonis Haslem more than I would from a LeBron James or from a Dwayne Wade for sure, because Udonis Haslem would give me that type of knowledge and mindset. Fuck. Udonis Haslem would give me that type of knowledge and that type of mindset on how it is and how it should be more than the LeBron James and the Dwayne Wades, because they're in a privileged mindset that they're going to get minutes, they're going to get the money, they're gonna reach to this amount of playoffs, they're gonna control the team in this type of way of fashion. But I'm learning from players that's getting it out of the mud, and I believe that's more respected than any other privileged basketball player out there for sure.
With Rashad McCants, with Kenyon Martin, Swaggy P, Nick Young and the crew. I can't wait. I can't wait for that conversation. I'm not taking this shit no more from people. I've had it with this. Because it's incidents like this that people try to piggyback off of. And they try to use it as an excuse to talk about me, hating on brothers. Me, the brother who is the ambassador for HBCU Week, that's generated millions in scholarship dollars for thousands of kids. Me, who's helped diversify ESPN with the opportunities as executive producer of First Take. Black folks, men and women period, white as well, any minority you can find. Me who has worked in this business for 30 years. Think about what I know. Think about what I've seen. Think about how much incriminating stuff that I could say. Think about how many incriminating facts I have. And I'm talking about the game. But literally, these brothers act like if this were boxing and a black dude knocked another black dude out, and I talked about the black dude that got knocked out, is black on black crime. But the brother that knocked him out, you're just going to ignore the praise I gave him. Javante Davis fights Lamont Roach last week. It was a majority draw. because he took a knee. If the ref had counted that, Gervonta Davis should have lost the fight. Me saying that means I'm hating on a brother? What the hell has this world come to? But this is the stuff that I'm being subjected to. I'm not taking it anymore. I'm not taking it anymore.
Honest opinion, it was Stephen A. Smith. I believe a lot of black people hate on him more than common America, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Because that's how I just mainly know the dude, of him always getting criticized and shitted on when it's a situation with a black athlete or just with a regular black person. If he says something minor and basic, the society takes it to a whole left perspective where they come at him now, calling him a sellout and all this other bullshit. And I'm just like, bro, like, what the fuck?
I see players, I ain't going to even mention their names right now. I got plenty of time to do that. But LeBron is one of them. A week before he confronted me, remember he said, why should somebody be the face of the league? Well, all these dudes do is go on the air in the mornings and shit on players. He was talking about me. Why? Because I got you number 2 all time? I think LeBron James is the greatest player in the history of man outside of Michael Jordan.
Facts.
I don't have him as number 1. Great father, great husband, great actor, great businessman, great family man, great philanthropist, great producer.
He has all of that written down right there. Like everything he's complimenting off of LeBron right now, that's what he has on paper right now.
Sir, what haven't I said? 4-time champion, 4-time league MVP, all-time leader scorer in NBA history right now, surefire first ballot Hall of Famer. What have I not said?
And if you don't say all of that on LeBron James, you'll get canceled.
But they've been talking. These players, some of them, not most, not all, but a few. And you know what they've been trying to do, right? In my opinion, what they've been trying to do is accuse me of selling out for the purposes of making it difficult for me to walk the streets as a black man amongst my peoples. Treating me like I'm not down. And I got to come on here on a public platform and speak about the challenges and the trials and tribulations that I have had to endure to help us, just because I'm critiquing your game. And too many of y'all have allowed them to get away with it. That's the real story here. Because LeBron told Richard Jefferson, and by virtue of doing that, told all of y'all, it wasn't about his son. It was about him. Because I said, as a father. But you're going to forget the quotes you gave. You don't forget how you were bloviating about him. You're going to forget the fact that I said before he ever played the game, don't do that because you're bringing more attention on him, which means he's going to be more heavily scrutinized. And then you're going to get mad at us for pointing out what you were saying. But we forget that. We forget that.
Shit. All right. All right. That's the end of the video. Honest opinion, y'all. What do y'all think, man? Because I honestly feel bad for Stephen A. Smith. I honestly do, man. Being a journalist, man, this when you definitely made it out there for sure, that shit is not easy. And you know, your personal life gets in the mix of that, of your business life, of your work life and everything like that, dude. Like, I feel like sooner or later, the more and the more we invest and deal with this bullshit with living in this Disney World society, Stephen A. Smith would definitely, you know, it would seem like his life would be out in danger and shit like that when he has to go ahead and just do his job, basically, on the fact on how he just explained it, on him being a sellout and everything like that, man. I honestly feel bad for him, man. But hey, me personally, nepotism was gonna flow Bronny whether or not if he did good or not in college. But that's it, y'all. Make sure y'all go ahead and like, subscribe to this video. More videos is coming out. Stay tuned. Keep them push notifications on, and let's keep it pushing. Peace out.